dude, fuck you, man. I can't help it if I'm in control of what I do with my time. I start every day with 15 minutes of meditation and planning. The reading I chose today was on time. And how we all have a limited supply of time. That we shouldn't waste our time, and yet we do. That we should think of time like we do money, right? With money, we very carefully ration out every penny. But we tend to waste a lot of time. And that got me to thinking about time management. And then it hit me. It's the end of 2019. How am I doing against my 2019 goals? So I consulted my little book where I write my goals. And of the 5 things I wanted to accomplish this year, I completed 4, and I failed to address 1. I actually have a little blue book, and yes, I did start it at the beginning of the century. There's 2000. 2001. This is an exercise I do every year. I'll flip forward to 2019, size 32 pants, check mark, roof, check mark, patio, check mark, redesign the farm, check mark. Now I already put the check marks in because I started doing, I do this throughout the year. And then the one thing I haven't done is the bus. I haven't finished that red and white VW bus, and so I'll let that sit there. And then at some point in the next 2 weeks, I'll flip to the next page. I'll write 2020 across the top, and I'll list my goals. And if I decide getting that bus is something that fits in and something I want to do next year, I'll write it down. If not, I'll put it off to 2021. Who cares? This is a technique that my wife has picked up, and it's also a technique that my 10-year-old son has picked up. And in fact, one of the things my 10-year-old son wrote down this year was he wanted to score a touchdown in a football game. Take a look at what he was able to accomplish. This is how I manage the big things, the important things, the accomplishments. But in order to accomplish big, important things, you need to have mastery of your day-to-day time. And the main tool that keeps me in charge of my time is this planner. This is from Franklin Covey, and it's a time management system based on Ben Franklin's time management system. Now, I ain't selling this. I don't care if you do this. But I think you should have some formal time management system in your life. And this is something I have. I've been doing it since 1993. I went to a 2-day class, in fact. And I'm not going to get into the whole thing because there's enough in it for a 2-day class. But I'll tell you what I do from a day-to-day basis. Let me just flip to a page here. Now, I already did this for myself today, but I put just a scrap page from a day I didn't use last year in here. And I'll give you an example of what I do to manage my time on a daily basis. I write down all the things I need to do. So, for example, today, haircut, call Rich, call Cujo, make video, gym, pick up Tommy at school, etc. That's step 1. List out the things you need to do. Step 2, group them into categories A, B, or C. A, super important, you need to get it done. B, important, but it can come after the A's. C, not so important, you could put it off if you want to. Haircut, that's a C, especially for me. Now, I already did it, but whatever. Call Rich, that is a B. Call Cujo is an A because it has to do with a work-related thing, a job-related thing. Make my video, I'll put that as a B. Hit the gym is an A. Hitting the gym is a very important thing for me. And then pick up Tommy at school. Of course, that's an A, right? I can't leave my son. So now you got your A's, your B's, your C's. Now prioritize all your A's. Well, picking up my son at school, that's priority number 1. Going to the gym, that's priority number 2. And calling Cujo is priority number 3. So now I have an A1, an A2, and an A3. Now I'll go through the B's. I have make my video and call Rich. Make my video is important because that's another thing I do to make money and bring revenue into the farm. And then number 2, call Rich. That's more of a fishing related thing, but fishing's important to me as well. And then all I have is 1 C so far for today, and that's get a haircut. So I'm going to mark that as C1. I mean, I could add another one like, make sweet tea for my wife. My wife loves sweet tea. I could make that like a C2. Like if I don't get to the sweet tea, who cares? She ain't even expecting it anyway. And then as you go on throughout your day, you can mark off the things you did. So I already shaved my head. So I'm going to put a check mark after haircut. I already did talk to Rich. So I'm going to check that off. I am in the process of making a video. So instead of checking it, I put a dot. Okay? I have yet to go to the gym, I have yet to pick up my son, and I have yet to make the sweet tea. If I get to the point where I can't do something like the sweet tea, I put an arrow next to it, and I push that further to another day somewhere else in the book. If there's something I can't do, but I assign it to someone else, maybe I'm supposed to pick, maybe my wife calls me and says she's going to pick up Tommy at school. Then I put her initial, N for Noe, and I'll put a circle around the N. That means I've delegated the task. And that's the way I manage my time from day to day. So now I have a representation in writing of how I'm doing against my day. And I focus on the A's. I got to get the A's done. Those are the things I need to do. And as you get them done, if you get them all done, move on to the B's. And when you finish the B's, move on to the C's. But this is how I manage my time from day to day. And then at the end of the day, I can sit back and say, wow, I did good today. Or at the end of the year, I could sit back and say, wow, I did good this year. Or I could say, man, I really slacked. I really slacked today. Why didn't I get to this stuff? What's going on in my life? Why did I prioritize some unimportant task? Because it was easier to do than the important thing I needed to do. Why am I avoiding that important thing? It gives me a chance to be introspective. But the main thing it does is it puts me in charge of my time, which is my most limited resource, right? Money's a limited resource, but if you want it, you can go out and get more. But you can't get more time. It's 24 hours in a day. And when you die, you die. That's it. You can't go out and buy more time. You can't go out and create more time. You have a limited supply of time. You got to decide how to use it. Now, as you saw in my book, I got some things I got to get to today, right? So I need to wrap this video up. But before I do, I want to ask this. Go down into the comments and think about a point in your life where you went from being unorganized to organized. Because some of you have done that. A lot of you haven't, right? But for the ones of you who've actually done something, right? You used to be out of control of your calendar. Now you're in control of your calendar. Go down in the comments, brag a little bit. Tell me what you did because I'd be curious to know. And while you're doing that, I'll be planning my next video, which I think is going to be how to make fishing lures with my wood lathe. I got a lathe last year that I haven't shown on video yet, and I've been meaning to do that. So give me your comments and look out for that lathe video, and we'll see you then.